Tony Cuthbert on the other end of the glass there. Hey, Tony, did you know that if you tried to scalp a ticket, you could actually get hit with a misdemeanor in this state? Did you know that?
I did. Yeah, that's scary stuff right there.
Well, have you ever seen that ever enforced? I don't know if I've ever seen it necessarily enforced.
Yeah, I've seen cops milling about outside of stadiums and stuff like that, but I've never seen somebody in cuffs or whatever it is because of it.
Do you think the cops would come right now if I admitted that I might have done that once or twice?
Let's double it. I've done it multiple times.
But you know what? Usually when I'm giving tickets, it's not really scalping tickets. I'm just either trying to sell them for face value or just trying to discharge them. I'm not ever really trying to make some money on them. I did once, I think.
Shame on you.
Yeah, a long time ago before I had, entertaining friends or whatnot. Now, I bring up the issue because on the other end of our line is Linda Teeter from Michigan Citizen Action. Thanks for joining us on the program. I appreciate it.
Good morning, Kyle. Thanks for having me.
So we're talking about House Bill 5108, and this is a bill that passed the House in February, but has since sat in the Senate, and this would basically take away the misdemeanor penalty and allow a person to resell a ticket if they wanted to above face value. Tell us a little bit more about why you guys are in support of this bill.
Well, sure, and it is the time of year, Kyle, where people are purchasing tickets and to give away as gifts, so this becomes really relevant. We got involved with this by my observing a mom purchasing tickets for a teenager and then realizing that in the fine print she had to go with the child because it was her credit card, and so she wasn't able to give those tickets to this young man, and the young man was mortified, as you might imagine, that his mom was going to have to, go with his friends to get them into this concert.
He didn't think that would be cool, huh?
He didn't. It was quite a thing to observe, and so we began to think about individuals. This is not huge ticket buyers or resales. This is as you said, a ticket that maybe you can't use or you're buying for a gift. And the law right now says that you cannot, first of all, you can't sell it for more than face value. So let's say the ticket says $27 and there's shipping and handling and processing. If you're going to sell it to me, Kyle, you could only sell it for $27. Or, as you were talking about, and your listeners be aware that there is in the state statute that says it is a misdemeanor and a fine up to $500.
And this is interesting because we have things like StubHub out there where you can actually purchase tickets, and in some cases you are purchasing them over face value, and yet they're not being hit by misdemeanors every day.
They aren't. And this law, in our researching, went back to the 1930s when the carnivals were moving from place to place and individuals were trying to sell their tickets if they couldn't use them, and it's been on the books since then. 35 states had such laws and have taken that clause out, that there is no longer a misdemeanor. And this was back in the days where there was not shipping and handling and processing, etc.
And now these bills, or this bill anyway, is sitting in a Senate committee chaired by the Senate Majority Leader Randy Richardville. Government Operations Committee is typically a special committee and usually a committee where bills go to die unless he has special plans for them. You haven't gotten any indication that he has a special plan for them, do you?
We are hoping that in discussions with Senator Richardville and Senator Whitmer, who sits on that committee as well, to hopefully this will be taken up in lame duck.
And the reason why there is opposition to this is you have the Detroit Lions, Comerica Park, Ford Field, University of Michigan, Michigan State University, Wharton Center, arguing that you could lose control of the tickets if you just open this up. You could have scalpers buying mass quantity of tickets and then selling them to the public at a higher rate, and the venue is actually losing control of the tickets. Respond to that concern.
Well, Kyle, in all honesty, that is probably happening now if it's going to happen. So this is about individuals who have a ticket who can't use the ticket. So, and I know that you were at the hearing and wrote about it in June in the Senate Government Ops, but this is really about the individual. This is not about someone who's going to buy large amounts of tickets. It's how do you either, number one, are you able to buy a ticket and give it as a gift, and that transferability, and number two, that if you buy a ticket and you can't use it and you're going to sell it, then can you recoup those extra charges?
Now, there has been some who have called this, Brandon Dillon, for example, has called this bill a giveaway to businesses like StubHub. Is that something that you take exception to?
I don't know what in the context of Representative Dillon's comments. So this is, again, not about StubHub and the resale market, but an individual who's going to sell a ticket to an individual.
Because the natural extension to this, then, I mean, if we're going to have a law like this on the books, then you would think then we would have to expand this law to include entities like eBay or StubHub to make it fair, right? Because why are we stopping the guy on the street, but we're not stopping the internet commerce here?
Right. And to be very honest, there are lots of pieces of this ticketing and ticket sales and resales that I think we need to deal with. This is the first piece of this. So this is and Representative Kelly from Saginaw is the sponsor of this, and I think there'll be more in the next year about transparency and transferability. But this was the first piece that we decided to be in favor of, and I think there'll be more as we move along.
Linda Teeter from Michigan Citizen Action. If this bill does not go this session, I imagine we'll see you next legislative session.
Absolutely.
Very good. I appreciate you joining us on the program
Well,
today.
and happy holidays to you. Thank you, Kyle.